Dave, Flint water residents, activists, and warriors told me they all anticipated this decision coming down and events like this happening, but they're afraid now that this is going to build up the way all future rulings will go.
Our reporter Alexis Ware to the scene. She joined us live. Alexis, what have you been able to learn?
Dave, I'm standing in the middle of the apartment complex right now. Now, to my left, you can see that Grand Blanc City Fire Department has their emergency trucks out with all of their equipment. And just ahead, you see the ladder where they're already put out the fire, I'm told, and they're just checking for hot spots. Now, I am told by Grand Blanc Fire Chief that everyone got out okay. No one, to his knowledge, was hurt, including his department. Well, Dave, it's quite a bit darker than it was when we originally came out here, but like you just said, the fire is out behind me. It's been out for quite a while, but firefighters are still on scene, just cleaning up some of the extra holes and different things laying around. Now, I did speak to Grand Blanc Fire Chief, and he told me that there were several different agencies out here who responded to the fire, including Grand Blanc, Atlas Township, Fenton Township, and many others. The Salvation Army Disaster Services team is also out here passing out food and warm drinks. I'm told everyone was able to make it out of the fire safely with no injuries, also including the fire staff. The Grand Blanc Fire Chief says the fire started in the attic of the apartment building. I spoke to a woman who says she and her niece are the ones who called 911, and they tried their best to alert neighbors.
Me and my niece pulled up over here. We jumped out the car. We ran in the buildings. My niece called 911 for me. I went to the very top floor where the fire was coming from. I knocked on that door really, really hard. No one answered. So I went across the hall, knocked on the guy's door over there. He answered. I let him know, you need to get out. So we went from floor to floor, and my niece then went to the other building. They knocked on those doors, helped the lady with the wheelchair.
Now, the Grand Blanc Fire Chief says that 10 units behind me were damaged, but again, everyone was able to get out safely with no injuries, and that also includes fire staff. Now, coming up at 10 and 11 on Mid-Michigan Now, we speak to the fire chief himself, and we also hear more from the resident who says she called 911. Live in Grand Blanc, Alexis Ware, Mid-Michigan Now.
Alexis, what can you tell us about tonight?
Well, Courtney, there's already over 300 cars, some from 1966 and some newer, and also some you'll only see in movies. And as the executive director of Back to the Bricks tells me, this is just the beginning. Now, what can people expect today?
Yeah, so we're here in Birch Run Speedway. We're enjoying our very first night of main event week, Night at the Speedway. We have a dyno, we have vendors, we have concessions, and we have cars.
And when it comes to later, I know you said they've already driven around a little bit, but there's still more to come.
That's right. When they leave, they'll take a little trip around the lap, and on their way out, they'll be, flagged off, which is kind of a cool experience for most. Some people have been here when they were a little kid, so this is a true car guy experience, so to speak.
Of the over 300 cars that are here, how many will walk away winners?
5 will be awarded top 5, and 1 will be awarded best in show.
Nice. So tons of events. So if you missed today's, don't worry. You can still come out really for the rest of the week and next. We'll have more on Mid-Michigan Now tonight at 10 and 11. Everything that you can expect and the safety precautions for Back to the Bricks. Live in Birch Run, Alexis Ware, Mid-Michigan Now. Good evening, Amit. The snow is still coming down. I actually don't think it stopped since I was out earlier. Now, some people don't necessarily appreciate the snow. I'm one of those people, but some rely on it for a living. Yeah, Dave, like you just mentioned, 2 of the suspects involved in this theft are already accounted for, but as Flint PD tells me, they're still searching for several others right now, but this is not the first time this has happened at this particular car lot, and they believe it's a part of a bigger issue.
This is the second incident that have occurred in the last 3 days at this particular facility located at Saginaw and Atherton Road in the city of Flint.
This is the car lot that has been broken into twice in 1 week, located on South Saginaw and Atherton Road. Flint police say Monday morning, suspects ramped through the front gate. Flint's Detective Sergeant Tyrone Booth says shots were exchanged between security and suspects.
Individuals stormed the lot from the report and overtake it very quickly. This particular incident that occurred this morning at shortly after 3 o'clock a.m., one security guard was on site and did engage with the subjects who were taking vehicles from the lot.
Hours later, the facility is still attempting to repair the damage the thieves left behind. Booth says they believe 20 to 30 people were involved in the first theft at this specific car lot. This time, he says 3 to 5 people were involved. Is it safe to say you have an idea of who some of these suspects are?
It's an ongoing investigation, so we're certainly running leads from here to Detroit. And we have taken one person into custody, and I'm confident that we'll make more arrests involving the case.
Detective Sergeant Booth says these suspects are targeting car lots that look to be lightly or not at all secured, not fenced properly, or have holes in other ways they can get inside to an excessive or a large amount of cars. He also says while they are not certain what they're doing with the stolen cars, he suspects they're selling the parts. In the newsroom, Alexis Ware, Mid-Michigan Now. Pharmacists across the nation are beginning to see a big impact from production delays of something so tiny, but they tell me it holds a lot of weight in many households.
Currently, the 30 milligrams, that's impossible to have. It's not on the market as of this moment, so it's a definite shortage in that, and the 20s as well.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration released this statement this week stating amphetamine mixed salts or Adderall is experiencing manufacturing delays due to the company Tivia not being able to produce their typical supply. Brothers Pharmacy in Flint is seeing the effects of those delays.
If you take this amphetamine, 20 milligrams, it's saying that the expected date is November the 4th. However, when November the 4th comes, it's not guaranteed that we'll get it on that day. We just have to wait and see.
Some of the pills not showing a restock date until 2023. This delay is something school teachers are also beginning to notice.
I do have several students who take medication.
Tara McNeil is a special education teacher for a Genesee County school. Although she doesn't always know what medication her students are on, she says it is sometimes noticeable when they don't have it.
You do know when there might be some days that maybe they didn't take it, and so, you do see some changes in the behavior and tasks in the classroom and focus and things like that.
There are other medications that are experiencing delays according to Brothers Pharmacy. They also say because of the delays, many prices are increasing. Reporting, Alexis Ware, Mid-Michigan Now.
My 16-year-old, he can't sleep at night because he's so cold.
These are the stories brought to Mid-Michigan Now's attention by residents of Redstone townhomes, stating sometimes they sleep with hats on, but oftentimes they heat their homes with their stoves.
It's like it's wintertime and I don't know how to keep my house warm because you can't sleep with an oven on. So you wake up in a fire in the morgue. So it's just like I'm trying to survive out here.
But Ryan Grays, the property manager of the building, say that's not completely true. He admits some residents are having issues, but he says that's due to the complex recently switching over their heating systems.
The company that was contracted out, what they did was they changed everybody's zone valves and thermostats so that everybody could control their own heat. But the city inspector was out here today. There is heat.
Before the switch, Grace tells me residents weren't able to control their own heat, causing issues. This new system is designed to give them that ability, but setup is taking longer than he expected.
The settings on the thermostat, they didn't come with the manual. So I have to go into everyone's thermostat and get it to the proper setting. So some may say, well, we have it held we got it all the way up at 73, but the hold inside of the thermostat, the system is saying it's gonna hold at 63. So once it hits 73, it's gonna drop back down and then hold at 65.
While Grace says the heating issue was a big misunderstanding, we uncovered another issue at the Redstone townhomes that has residents fed up.
I've been having holes in my wall since, cause I had an electric problem. And they had been supposed to fix it and they haven't fixed it yet because they had a roofing problem they had to fix first. They had aluminum siding issues.
Grace says the repairs are a work in progress.
No one is getting ignored. It's an ongoing issue. I've been on it every day.
Gray says there's over 90 units here, with 9 of them still not having the updated system. Now, we did reach out to the city for a comment, but have not heard anything back yet. Gray does say he will keep us updated as things improve here, and we'll keep you updated as we hear. In Flint, Alexis Ware, Mid-Michigan Now.